Masaya ako to reconnect and to be here after 2 weeks at hindi lamang ito storya ko, hindi istorya ito ng mga taong kasama namin sa Mindanao, sa Batangas, sa Quezon at marami pang mga tao na nakasama ko sa ating journey at ako'y nagagalak, ang aking puso'y nagagalak na ibahagi ang mga kwentong ito.
Si Aris is actually a coffee entrepreneur. He started his business with what, 1,000 pesos, tama ba?
Yes, yes, yes.
And now, milyon-milyon na siguro yung valuation ng ating negosyo, no? Sa tulong ng lahat ng mga community na nakatrabaho mo and of course, mga nagtiwala sa iyo na investors, tuloy-tuloy ang paglaki ng negosyo. Pero starting a business from 1,000 pesos, di ba? Parang hindi din ganun kadali yun eh. And especially, di ba, minsan ang mga tao iniisip na ang mga mayayaman lang ang pwede yumaman, di ba? Ang mga mahihirap, lalo lang humihirap, which is also true to a certain extent, no, in terms of siguro how the current social framework goes. Pero hindi din lahat, no? Meron at meron din mga kwento ng tagumpay at yun ang kwento ni Aris Asilo.
Yun,
no? So siguro pare, kwento mo naman sa amin yung baka family background mo. Ako alam ko na, pero para sa ating mga listeners na baka hindi pa familiar, ano ba background natin sa pamilya bago ka naging coffee entrepreneur?
Yeah. Salamat Jolo sa magandang introduction about sa aking business. Ang totoo, nagsimula sa 1,000 noon. Naalala ko kasi yung nanay ko, nung ako ay grade 6. Doon ako unang-unang tinuruan ng nanay ko na magtinda ng sweepstakes ticket. Ewan ko kung alam pa nila yung sweepstakes ticket. It's yung PCSO, hindi pa uso yung loto, hindi pa uso yung, meron pang mga ticket na binibili na 10 pesos isa, tapos sa isang haba ay 5, so 50 pesos yun. Looking back, no, hindi pala madali, no, yung buhay namin noon hindi pa uso yung social media, hindi pa uso ang mga yung Instagram, Facebook. Buhay namin noon ay hindi kasing ganda ng middle class, no? We belong to poorest part of the economic status na pagdating dito. Ang tatay ko ay isang weteng kobrador.
Weteng kobrador?
Hindi weteng lord, kobrador. Okay ba yun?
Para lang malinaw, no?
Para malinaw. Kobrador ng weteng, ibig sabihin, siya yung nagpapaikot-ikot. May listahan ng number. Parin Jolo, ano ba napanaginipan mo? Anong gusto mo nga?
Anong numero? Napanaginipan mo kagabi?
Gabi. Sinabi, nanaginip ako ng ahas. 8.
Correct.
So, tapatan natin 16.
Okay.
Tapos magkano? 3 piso, 2. Ang piso pag nanalo, 700 pesos ang wedding. Kaya nga sinulat kong libro, diba? Anak ng wedding.
Anak ng wedding.
Anak ng wedding.
Ikaw pala, literal. Anak
ako na yun,
ng wedding.
Yes. Naalala ko noon kasi every other day ko yung ginagawa pagkalabas ng eskwelahan kasi katabi lang ng palengke yung aming elementary school or tuwing weekend. Buong weekend lagi akong nasa sa labas. Yung buhay na nakagisnan ko, no, magtrabaho at mag-aral at tumulong sa pamilya. Hindi naging kasing karaniwan ng ibang mga bata ang buhay ko bilang bata. Hindi ko naranasang mag-field trip, hindi ko naranasang maglaro palagi tuwing weekend, kasi kailangan ko magtrabaho kasama yung aking mga magulang. Bilang panganay, kailangan kong namulat yung aking buhay sa ganung hirap, no, tapos 3 kami magkakapatid. So nung panahon na yon, hindi naman ganun kaganda ang ekonomiya pa ng Pilipinas, 1990s, katatapos lang ng EDSA Revolution, di ba?
Correct.
Ano yun, panahon to ni Ramos na to
Okay.
So parang Cory Aquino, then Ramos. So nakita ko yung evolution ng weteng. Kaya naisulat ko yung book ng Anak ng Weteng. Pero sa perspektibo ito ng isang tao na lumaki at nakapag-aral ng kaluhiyo dahil sa weteng at saka sa sweepstakes ticket. So
parehas palang sugal yung
parehas na
linya
sugal
ng magulang mo,
yun,
no?
Yun kami. Sugal. Yung ano nila, lumaki ako sa background na kung saan gambling doon ko natutunan na life is also like a gamble. You know?
Correct.
You gamble with the risk, you gamble your dreams, you gamble your ambitions, you gamble everything, and you really don't know what's going to happen. There are many uncertainties. You know?
Pero kung pumusta ka sa sarili
Pumusta
mo.
ka talaga sa sarili ko yun. No? Kasi
Oo.
wala ka namang ibang talaga kakampi kundi sarili mo at hindi mo alam kung ipapapanalo mo yung pangarap mo or
Correct.
matatalo ka
Correct.
Tsaka along the way, hindi mo alam kung yung resources na meron ka, could be your last 100 or your last energy or your last dreams. Hindi mo alam kung ipapanalo mo di ba? So, yun yung mga tapestries of life that I've gone through since that time in 1992 when I learned how to sell. So that's my first venture about business, selling.
So, kumbaga, bata ka pa lang, salesman ka na. Natuto ka na kung kaano ka importante ang pakikitungo sa mga tao, kung paano minsan kailangan mo lang ng lakas ng loob, at maglakad-lakad, lapit lang, subok lang na subok para lang may mabenta ka na sweepstakes ticket, no? So parang bata ka pa lang, pare. Trained ka na ng pagiging ahente.
Oo, tama paring Jolo, no? Kasi naalala ko noon, meron akong 2 episode na hindi ko malilimutan sa pagtitinda.
Okay.
Yung una, may pinupuntahan akong tindahan na ang lakas-lakas ng tindahan na yun. Doon ako tumatambay kasi maraming ang tao ang ginawa sa akin ng isang may-ari, pinasok ako ng sigarilyo. Dito sa sabi ko, huwag ka nga dito. Umalis din
Ilan taong ka na yan?
Ako yung mga 7 years old, ata 8 years old noon. Di niya ako pinaso. Pinaso nung dulo ng sigarilyo, di kay kainit noon.
Ginawa ka ashtray.
Parang ginawa akong ashtray. Parang umalis ka dito kasi malas daw kapag may ibang tao.
Okay.
Hindi ko malimutan yun. Iyak na ako noon. Sabi ko, ayoko na magtinda ng ticket. Ayoko na, pinapaso ako ng mga tao. Kasi ako talaga, takot ako noon.
Okay.
Tapos, pero hindi tumigil doon. No? Sabi ng nanay ko, yaan mo na yun. Kailangan natin kasing mag-survive. Ganun yung ginawa ko pa rin. Merong isang tindahan naman na kung saan ayaw niyang bumili sa akin ng ticket. Araw-araw ko siyang pinupuntahan. Siya ay magtitinda ng asin.
Okay.
Si nanay, nakalimutan ko yung pangalan niya sa asin. Hanggang sa isang araw, sige na nga, bili na nga ako ng isa, kulit mo Bumili siya ng isa, but after 6 months, 6 months kong nilalapitan at mula noon naging kaibigan ko si nanay. Alam mo, tuwan-tuwa ako sa'yo kasi hindi ka tumigil na magbenta sa akin ng ticket. Malayo ang mararating mo. Sabi niya, nung ako'y gumraduate ng college, pinuntahan ko, siya ang unang-unang pinuntahan ko sa palengke, hinahanap ko si nanay. Sa kasamaang palad, siya'y pumanaw na nandudo na yung kanyang apo. So si nanay ay hindi siya part ng aking pamilya nakadugo. Pero naging part siya ng aking perspektibo. Kung paano tingnan yung pagiging salesman, ng pagko-connect. Tama yung nabanggit mo, Kuya Jolo.
Kuya. Sige lang.
Na connection na maging salesman ka, paano makipasalamuha. It's a process, no? 'Di ba? Hindi siya yung natutunan mo sa books. Punta ka, benta ka, tapos lista mo siya. Transactional masyado Parang tinitingnan mo lang siya as bibili at ikaw magbebenta. Ang natutunan ko, ang salesmanship ay empathy. Kasi maaaring ibebenta mo hindi niya gusto, may iba pala siyang gusto. So it gave me a new perspective. Siguro kaya bakit hindi ako serial entrepreneur, kaya ako naging social entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Kasi naiintindihan ko at doon ako nanggaling. Not exactly naiintindihan. At so marami pa akong bagay na hindi alam. Doon nauunawaan ko yung pakiramdam na kung saan walang-wala. Sabi nga ng nanay ko, ang pag-unlad ay nagsisimula sa pagtulong kahit salat ka.
Ano yung sabihin nun? Medyo malalim yun
Oo, yung sabihin kasi ng salat, kahit walang-wala ka.
Salat.
Salat, S-A-L-A-T. You have a meager resource. Scarce. Actually, scarce.
Okay.
Diba, sa law of economy, diba? Law of scarcity. Or yung something like that. So, pang sabi ng nanay ko, kahit walang-wala ka or kahit salat ka, hindi naman ibig sabihin tutulungan mo siya ng pera o tutulungan mo siya ng tangible na may resource na meron ka. Maaaring yung pagtulong ay presensya mo.
Correct.
Maaaring yung pagtulong ay na-inspire mo siya. Kagaya ng natin nito sa The Mad Jeepney is as a platform to spread words. These are intangible. And probably somebody hears it and it helps them
Build confidence or
confidence.
at least think about what they could do with their lives, di ba?
Or absolve them of guilt or of depression or of mental health things, because sometimes in a world full of noise, we just need information or data of what exactly we need. Because ako nung anong bata ako, hindi ko naman alam ibig sabihin ng noise, information, data, di ba? Pero marami sa paligid na sasabihin na, ganyan na yan si Alice, hindi yan makapag-aral ng high school, hindi yan makapag-aral ng college, kasi hindi nakatapos yung magulang niya, or dyan na lang yan. Narinig ko yung all sort of discouragement, noise. Pero dahil nga ako ay hearing impaired, hindi ko naririnig lahat ng sinasabi nila.
Okay.
Di ba may blessings pala yun?
So, blessing pala. For those who don't know, kasi medyo may impairment kasi si Aris sa hearing, no? So yung hearing disability ko, no, was actually superpower din. Kasi
Superpower,
hindi mo naririnig yung mga doubters, pati yung
yes,
mga nagsasabi
negativities.
ng kung ano-ano na
Yes.
di mo naman kailangan marinig, di
Yes.
ba? Or kumbaga, yung iba dyan, baka, di ba, hindi nila alam ang epekto ng mga ganyang salita sa iba. No?
Yes, oo.
Kasi ganun sila pinanganak eh. Ganun sila lumaki. So, syempre, yung worldview nila is also limited by their own experience.
Yes.
And I share, that experience with you kasi minsan, galing din yan sa mismong pamilya mo. Diba? And it's not because they don't want you to succeed. It's just that life hit them so hard that they think that's just the way life is, and
Yes.
they think na ganyan din mangyayari sa iba.
Yes.
Diba?
I forgave them a long time ago when I learned about the doubts that they've given to my parents. And it's sometimes, tama ka parang minsan may mga tao sa perspective, depende sa buhay nila, yun na yun ang kanilang perspektibo. Unintentional actually. Minsan may mga tao sinasabi yun, unintentionally, hindi nila alam na nakakasakit sila. Kasi, minsan pag tinignan mo yung perspektibo nila, they wanted to protect you.
Correct.
Kasi ayaw na nilang ma-experience mo yung hardships na tanggapin mo na lang. Yun yung nagiging ng isip nila eh. Pero siguro okay, ipinanganak na iba ang aking destiny, iba ang buhay na kakaharapin ko ay
Kung nag-college ka, nag-aral ka nutrition, no?
nutrition, tama?
Tama ba? And then nag-Masters of Business Management ka
Yes.
sa UPLB.
Yes.
Diba?
UP Manila.
UP Manila ba yung ano mo?
Yung nutrition, UPLB.
Nutrition mo, UPLB.
Yes.
UP Manila yung masters mo.
Yes.
Okay. Ba't pala napili mo mag-nutrition?
Gusto ko maging doktor dahil gusto kong nung in-interview ako sa pagme-medicine, gusto ko pong gumawa ng bionic ears.
Okay.
Yun yung gusto kong mission. Sabi ko, ilang tao kaya ang may eksperyensya or mayroong kaganapan sa buhay ng kagaya ng nangyari sa akin. Imagine, paano kung hindi sila similar ng buhay ko? Ano kaya ang pwedeng maitulong? Sabi ko, ako bionic. Gusto ko mag-neurology, neuroscientist. So, kaya ako nag-nutrition. Isa, pre-med course. No? Tapos, kaso, hindi natuloy ang aking pagdodoktor. Nung pumanaw yung aking ama, hindi ako nakapagdoktor. Parang nawalan ako ng gana na magdoktor. Hanggang sa doon ako unang nagkaroon ng mindset na yung pagiging salesman ko nung bata, bakit kaya hindi na lang ako mag-business? So nag-business ako at doon ko binuo yung framework ng nutrition entrepreneurship. Kaya nutrition ang college, business management ang masters. Pas pinagsama yon, nutrition entrepreneurship.
Okay. Itong nutrition entrepreneurship, and kanina may binanggit ka din na serial entrepreneur versus social entrepreneur. Ano ba exactly ibig sabihin ng mga ganitong siguro entrepreneurial frameworks?
Una, ang common nila is meron kang produkto o serbisyong binebenta as an entrepreneur, kita ka dapat. Meron kang produktong ginagawa, meron o serbisyong ibinibigay at bibilihin ito ng merkado or i-avail ng merkado for a certain fee. Ang pinagkakaiba nito, kapag serial entrepreneur, it's purely transactional. I sell this, you buy this, and that's it. Ang social entrepreneurs, I sell this, you buy this, pero how does it benefit the community?
Okay.
May benefit so there's ang serial entrepreneurship, you are maximizing profits for the investors. Ang social entrepreneurship is optimizing profits for the community and the investors.
Okay.
Yun yung pinagkaiba base sa aking perspektibo.
Okay.
Nutrition entrepreneur is a type of social entrepreneurship kasi meron akong focus activities or advocacy focusing on nutrition, on well-being, on community development. And with nutrition kasi, my training in nutrition is to communicate and connect directly with the people involved, such as people who are marginalized, people who are children who are malnourished,
Okay.
or women who have no access to reproductive health,
Okay.
or to good vitamins
Okay.
that they need to nourish themselves.
Okay.
There are so many elements in nutrition entrepreneurship that I believe it is our responsibility as an entrepreneur to also give them those accesses.
Okay. So your company, Varaco Inc., no? How exactly does it fulfill yung social entrepreneurship or nutrition entrepreneurship? Yeah.
Barako is a sustainability focused company that sells buy one take one coffee that help communities in Mindanao improve production of coffee in Bukidnon, in Sultan Kudarat, in Davao through Internet of Things, nano biofertilizers, and farmer scientist training program.
Okay. Nano biofertilizers.
Yes, lalim na, no?
Oo nga, anong
May nano
sabihin
na,
nun,
bio
pare?
pa.
Medyo malalim yun. Oo.
Ultraman lang alam natin nun, mga
Oo nga.
nano na.
Nano bio. Anong ibig sabihin nun, pare?
Oo. So, part ng Barako advocacy, yung nano biofertilizer. So, pag sinabi mong nano biofertilizer, ito yung mga organic or non-synthetic fertilizers na ginagamit natin sa lupa, sa mga halaman. Maliliit na dosage ito ng fertilizer. May mga synthetic fertilizers na, for example, isang sako ay 50 kilo. Pag ginawa mong nano yon, parang 25 kilos na lang. So, you're reducing the amount of inputs you put into the soil by making it nano-formulated.
Okay.
So, mas mabilis siyang ma-absorb niya. So, you need small dosages para small amounts lang yun nasa lupa, which is healthy.
Yung IoT or Internet of Things,
Yes.
no? And how are you leveraging on this for that social entrepreneurial angle of Varaco?
Yes, I like that you've put the perspective on those available supplements for the plants and then moving on to IoT. So they work hand in hand together. The Internet
Okay.
of Things and these things work together. In humans, we need to monitor ourselves, right?
Yep,
What's your
yep.
temperature? What's
Yep.
your health? The same thing with plants. Because we get used to seeing, plants, di naman nakakaramdam yan, or baka magkasakit, lagyan mo lang ng fertilizer, okay na siya. We are promoting the use of technology to understand, monitor, assess, and evaluate the condition or the situation of your farm and the plants. By that, the Internet of Things has three elements. Number one
Yep.
are the sensors. So these sensors, they sense the temperature, humidity, rainfall, soil
Okay.
moisture, NPK, solar irradiance, wind speed, and many other environmental parameters from soil to the plants and to the air. So yun yung sensors. Then these sensors, binabato niya yung mga datos sa satellite na meron ang Barako. And
Wow.
that satellite, ibinabato niya yung data na nakuha niya sa platform ng Barako. And then, ipupush ng platform sa SMS sa mga farmers kung ano yung sitwasyon ng kanilang
Galing.
farms. Oh, real time.
Saan galing to technology na to? Sorry.
These are available technologies. We use LoRaWAN, long range wireless area network. So it's a military grade kind of area network in which nandudun lang yun sa farm. So hindi mo kailangan ng huge towers like our main telecommunications have. So these are put and installed in the farms within a certain radius, say 4 kilometers.
Ano tsura nito, pare? Parang may maliit ka lang na ipapatong sa lupa or sa halaman mismo, sa puno. Ano yung tsura niya?
it's like our phone. So our phones, smartphones have sensors. Diba? Our phones know pag
Correct.
gabi na, alam niya yung temperature.
Ah.
So they have smaller sensors. In the farms, the same thing. We'll put a pole with all of these sensors
Okay.
installed in those poles.
Yeah.
Nakatusok, so say soil moisture, nakatusok siya sa lupa strategically around the farm. And then yung temperature, humidity, it's an automatic weather station, a small ball located upwards, and it sends us everything within certain kilometer radius.
Yeah.
Say we're doing it for like within 4 kilometers, but it can reach as far as 52 kilometers,
Okay.
depending on the line of sight. And then we have a gateway kapag ibabato natin ito sa broadband, pero we don't use gateway if we put it to the satellite.
Okay.
So we're using satellite, so we just have sensors in the farm. So these are smaller, like smartphone that we have. The farms also have like those smartphones, but these are sensors located strategically within the farm.
Galing, ang galing. You said it's a 20-year roadmap and you're on your fifth year. Yeah, year 5. Ano yung roadmap by year 20?
Yes.
Ano yung gusto nyo malaman by year 20? Or ano ba yung masasabi mong stage gate or milestone na by year 20 successful yung project?
At year 2020, we see farmer scientists.
2020 or like 20 years, you mean?
Year which is 2021, 21 plus 2040. Say at
2040.
2040,
Okay.
at 20th year, we see farmer scientists who utilize technology as tools to improve their coffee production in the Philippines, as much as how Israel, Japan,
Okay.
or Korea, or other countries are using these technologies.
So parang may angle on food security,
Food security,
poverty alleviation.
sustainability, poverty alleviation.
Yeah. Kasi
SDGs.
syempre, the higher the yield, the more money, the more inclusive the economy gets,
Yes.
especially at the grassroots
Yes.
and to marginalized sectors like
Yes.
farmers.
Yes.
No?
That's one of the outcomes, to increase production, but at the same time we want to make it sustainable, so that when we define sustainability, we see the current resources not really abused, so that the future generation can still use it.
Gets.
The normal serial entrepreneur thing to do is, let's maximize all these resources until it's gone.
Yep.
With social entrepreneurship, we utilize what's needed,
Yeah.
or what can benefit the community. So we've developed a certain theory or framework, the law of carrying capacity.
Yeah.
So in our farms, we have this law of carrying capacity, which we say you have say for example, in our area in the IPs, they have 6,700 hectares of land.
Yeah.
But not all of this can be planted with coffee or any other crops. The only allowable area would be 312 hectares of land.
That's what 50%. Did you say 600? And then
6,000.
Oh, 6,000.
Yeah. So 312 are
Yeah,
only as the area that's only allowed to be tilled or lalagyan. So small amount, because the remainder ay forest zones, and hindi mo siya pwedeng pakialaman,
Okay.
gawin. Oo, yeah. So yun yung tinitingnan namin na anggulo na anong dapat nating gawin. So at the 20th year, kahit wala na ang Barako sa community, they know about the use of technology. Because bro, di ba yung IoT, these are tools eh.
Yeah.
Hindi naman yun, pag nilagay mo doon, magic,
Correct.
masusolve na yung poverty.
It's what you do with it, right?
Oh.
What you do with the information.
Yes.
What you do with the data that you have to change behavior or change systems.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Galing. And yung napag-usapan natin kanina about yung technology na to, no? Ano yung naging results niya when you guys implemented it in let's say Mindanao?
We have varying results, no. We have many kinds of results. The first one, yung pinaka nagustuhan namin, lahat ng farmers develop confidence.
Okay.
Nagkakumpiyansa
Nagkakumpiyansa
sila.
Saan? Sa technology or sa pagiging farmer entrepreneur?
Sa pagiging farmer entrepreneur, farmers,
Okay.
kaya ko palang mag-isip ng ganitong mga pamamaraan na dati hindi ko alam kung tama ba itong gagawin ko, or dati okay ba itong gagawin ko na mga activities. So may mga ganun silang mga mindset. And when we capacitated them on farmer scientists, they really taught like scientists.
Talaga.
That's one outcome. The second outcome would be the increase in the size of their farm and the increase in yields. So we had one during the nascent stage of our project. There's this farmer who used to just earn 150,000 a year for a revenue.
150,000 a year.
Yeah.
Revenue, sabihin natin, 50%, 75,000 pesos a year.
Yeah, something
Parang
like
ganun,
that.
no?
Yun yung
So less
kanilang-
than 10,000 a month.
Right.
Yeah.
So yun yung una nila. After our capacity, nag-double. So yung
Okay.
150,000, 300,000 na.
Okay.
So nag-double na yung size
Yeah.
ng kanilang farm. So marunong na siya mag-pruning, things like good agricultural practices intervention. We were able to influence them on that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, naging close kami. Ini-invite ka na sa kasal na binyag.
Ninong ka na, pare.
Oh, ninong na. Sabi ko nga, pengin lupa.
Ilan ba yung farmers na katrabaho mo day in, day out?
Right now, we have more than 40.
40 farmers.
More than 40 farmer scientists.
Yeah.
And we've reached around 1,000 farmers already in Mindanao indirectly.
Okay, so 40 farmer scientists, 1,000
Indirect.
farmers you work
Yes.
with through maybe farmer cooperatives or...
We deal with farmer
Yeah,
cooperatives,
yeah.
that's right, and associations.
Yeah.
So in Mindanao, we have what we call indigenous communities.
Sure.
Yes, that are usually the custodians of lands that are both production zones or non-production zones.
Yeah.
So non-production zones are like the forest, the forests that are the home of Philippine eagle,
Yeah.
or many marsupials or
Yep,
snakes or other plants, flora and fauna is what we call the
Okay.
flora and fauna
Yep.
of the environment. So may mga areas na nandun, and they are full of indigenous knowledge, rituals, and many other activities that protect the zones.
Okay.
It's the difficult part of being a social entrepreneur is you're not just thinking about the well-being and benefit of your company, but at the same time you're also thinking about the other community and the next generation. So it's a very difficult task to conduct and do social entrepreneurship because you are utilizing so many angles that should not only be benefiting your company. And that's what Veraco does. We are in our stage where our valuation is not only being assessed in terms of resources or what we have, but also in the goodwill. That's why from 1,000 pesos, we now have a law of 100M plus of valuation.
100M plus
Yeah, 100
plus.
plus. I will not say the exact, the high and the low, but I could say it's more than 100M. So that's our leveraging. That if we can grow the Veraco as a company to that 100M plus valuation, including its goodwill, then we have a potential to create more valuation without abusing these resources or without na iniiwan sila,
Correct.
abandoning.
Kumbaga, inclusive growth.
Inclusive growth.
Yeah.
Sustainable development. So
Correct.
inclusive growth and sustainable development.
Yeah.
And it's very hard, bro. No.
Yeah, I can imagine. And siguro, para lang di natin makakalimutan, yung kwento on 1,000 pesos to 100 million plus in terms of valuation. I think magandang kwento siya to show na pare pag may tiyaga, may nilaga. Eh, di ba? Yan yung kasabihan sa Pinoy. Eh, di
Diba,
ba?
nilagang itlog ba yan? Nilagang mani?
Depende siguro
Nilagang kamote,
sa tiyaga na napasok. No? Pero siguro, kwento mo nga a bit about yung 1,000 pesos. Tapos kung paano siya napalaki into now a social enterprise worth more than 100 million.
Yeah. We started with coffee beans. It's a deep coffee. Coffee in a tea bag.
Correct.
Nalagyan
Nalala
mo
ko, binigyan mo ako ng dati, pare.
Talaga, oo nga. That's a long time ago.
Mga-
Hindi mo ba?
Oo naman.
Yeah.
Pero mga ano na yan, siguro more than 5 years ago.
Oh, okay.
I remember.
Yeah, that's nice. Thank you. And we started that, and we only utilized like 1,000 pesos. And then next thing we know, we have a restaurant in Lipa from 20 square meters is now 60 square meters. Then we were invited in Mall of Asia. That was our first major break in Mall of Asia around 2023.
Nandun pa? Nandun pa
Wala
yun.
na. Seasonal, it's a seasonal activity.
Okay.
We met the vice president of SM
Oo.
in Bukidnon during the time na pwede ka na mag-travel. 'Di ba pag pandemic noon, pwede ka na mag-travel basta meron kang
Correct.
permit. So we met them because they were looking for vegetables from
Okay.
Bukidnon na ibebenta sa SM supermarket.
Okay.
And then they said, okay, I'll contact you after a year. We want to include you in our seasonal activities.
Okay.
They included us, and we were like earning 25,000 to 50,000 pesos in SM Mall of Asia per day
Wow.
for selling coffee drinks.
Okay.
And nakatabi namin doon mga major
Iba din talaga
coffee.
hatak ng SM eh. No?
Iba talaga,
Talagang
yeah.
alam ko, medyo grabe yun sa rent pero sulit lagi kasi ang daming tao talagang
Daming tao, lalo sa Mall of Asia, di ba?
Oo.
So doon kami nag-start around 2023. And then next thing we know, we opened a store in SM North. And then marami nang naging projects in Mindanao evolving na ang business model ng Barako. Nag-evolve siya from just selling. Now we include production, technology, and all of these things.
Pero paano mo naisip yun? Kasi syempre, and I think yun din yung transformation of being an entrepreneur to a social entrepreneur eh. Because you decided at one point in the business to also include the supply chain and the value chain behind the finished product as part of maybe your core business. No? So paano mo naisip na benta lang tayo ng ganitong produkto to now looking at where it's sourced, working with the communities that actually produce the products. May aha moment ka ba na in that journey that made you decide na putang ko nga itong mga partners namin?
Actually, napaisip nga ako we were just trying to survive. No? Pandemic was pandemic and everyone was closing shop. And we were thinking of ways to survive. And one of the reactions, as an entrepreneur kasi sometimes you have to react fast.
Correct.
You cannot have the problem now then you react after 1 week. So
Correct.
di ba? So you have to when something comes up and then I decide now, then you have to commit to it and really go for it. That was the feeling I had during the pandemic
Galing,
to
galing.
survive. And then along the road, I spoke to many people who are experts in technology, who are experts in agriculture, and they were looking for something that could adapt. And my aha moment was that sabi nung farmer, Sir Aris, tulungan mo naman kami dahil hindi na namin alam yung gagawin namin. So me being a naturally caring person and I want to solve problems right away, and sabi nila there's a part of me that's a visionary and naglikot-likot ng utak ko nun. And I focus on this technology and I'm not giving up on that technology and the farmer scientist training program. As a matter of fact, these are not new. These are already existing way before I thought about it. We have the farmer scientist training program for corn. So my mentor was Dr. Romulo Davide, who improvised the farmer scientist training program in 1992 to 1995
Matagal
for
na.
corn. Matagal
na.
Sabi
Okay.
niya, Aris, gawin mo to sa coffee.
Okay.
So, gumawa ako ng coffee framework, coffee-based farming and entrepreneurship engagement program, COFFEE, COFFEE. Under the coffee framework, we have Smart Cafe and Smart Farm. So now I'm focusing on Smart Farm. Farm stands for Farmers Adopting Responsible Management.
Galing ah.
Yeah, that's what we've been doing.
Sa pangalan pa lang ng mga framework mo, pare, panalo na. Ano ulit yung ibig sabihin ng COFFEE?
Oh yeah, yung coffee-based farming
Coffee
and
based.
entrepreneurship engagement.
Okay.
So
okay.
may meaning yung mga letters.
Yeah, galing.
And it's published already. I wrote about it
Okay.
under the Journal of, ano nyo pa basahin nyo Journal of Human Ecology and Sustainability.
Nice. Well, Journal of Human Ecology and Sustainability.
It's
Okay.
Baracos case of coffee framework for sustainability. Minsan nga nadidisillusion na ako. Sabi ko, ano ba itong ginagawa ko? Parang, ako,
Bakit mo ba pinapahirapan ang buhay mo?
Bakit yun, di ba? Sabi ko,
Oo.
pwede naman mag-golf, ibang golf pala yun.
Wala naman mali mag-golf, pare.
Parang
Wala
sabi
naman.
ko, pwede namang matulog na lang ako sa weekend or pwede namang pupunta ako doon, mag-travel na lang. Pero minsan napapaisip ako I'm also a human being, bro. No? Parang I also feel these kinds of emotions, pains,
Normal lang yan.
disillusionment, doubts, di ba?
Correct.
Oh, normal.
Especially if you come from like you've had a rough week,
Hmm.
or let's say you've encountered a challenge or a difficult people, di ba? Minsan mapapaisip ka din para saan ko ba to ginagawa, di ba? Pero ikaw, dahil na pag-usapan natin yan, para saan ka ba bumabangon? Ha?
Parang nabasa ko yan sa isang coffee, ano yan
Yun nga eh. Oo. Pero di natin sasabihin yung brand kasi sponsor na lang nila tayo.
Nasa natanong ko na rin sa isip ko yan eh. Parang, I don't have my own family. I don't have kids. I'm not married. So, hindi ako bumabangon para doon, di ba? Parang masaya na nga ako. Minsan, sabi ko, bumabangon ako kasi gusto ko bang mabuhay, di ba? Yung mga ganong cliche na
Yeah.
for myself. But then, in the long run, I'm doing all of these things because I feel like it's my calling. You know, there were so many times that I didn't ask this only to myself, but also to someone up there na...
Sino ba nakatira dito
Sino
sa taas?
sino ba dito? No? Sino nga eh. Baka sabihin.
Pinagdasal mo, pare.
I really prayed hard. I always try my best to seek and pray on why is this happening? Why me? Or why these things? And may challenges lagi yan around the area. And I've been asking it for the long time. I don't have really an answer to that question kasi it's still a question.
It's still a journey.
It's a journey. Paano malalaman siya along the way? So, tinatanong ko na lang sarili ko na hanggang saan ko ba kaya itong journey na to. And hopefully, every time I ask it, sana tumaas yung capacity ko to carry that. Sometimes we are always on the verge of breakdowns. Sometimes we just want to be alone or really disappear. And it happens
sa lahat.
sa lahat,
Pare.
not only to even the strongest person, di ba? Minsan, we just think so far that we forget what's in front of us. And sometimes it's not things. They are presence over performance.
Gets.
You know, sometimes
Presence over performance.
Performance, yes.
Ano ibig sabihin nun?
it's like when you go to community, I've learned this in the communities. You know, for the longest time before I bring projects, I talk to them, I eat with them, I spend time with them, just being present, not really pushing any projects for a very long time.
Walang agenda.
Walang agenda. And then eventually, kusang lalabas siya. Because you don't need to perform and tell them, I'm good, I'm really great, I can bring this, I can do this, and your life will turn into a magical fantasy or things like that. We don't do that. What I do is I want to be present. And it happens also in our career perhaps, in our challenges. Sometimes, kung may mga bagay na talagang hindi ma-resolve, wala tayong magawa. I just sit and sit in silent. I reflect. And there are really things na hindi natin controlled. And with that, I stay steady. And if you can pray, you pray. And when you get steady, and you inhale, and then you exhale, some things really cannot be solved right now. Take one day at a time. And that's presence for me. Me present in the company, you being honest to these people, hey, we're experiencing these problems, let's work together. With some, most of the people in Barako, they have been here since their day one. They never leave. So I have been thinking, why are they not leaving? Because you're giving them the time and the perspective and the mindset to co-create and co-solve problems. It's not the benefits monetarily or any other benefits. It's because they feel that they belong. And that's presence. Presence within the community, presence within the challenges. Performance is like doing many KPIs. And for me, it's for me as a social entrepreneur, I do not do as much KPIs as I need. Very simple. Plus minus, and we've been growing. I mean, we've been experiencing all of these things, and that's what I mean by presence over performance.
Yeah. Every time we overcome a challenge in life, we're also given the confidence and the wisdom to face future bigger challenges. Kasi may paghuhugutan ka na eh, 'di ba? And ito, I also tell my team this all the time na akala mo lang sobrang laki ng problema mo. But it's a speck, it's a dot, in the bigger scheme of things. Diba? I remember I was in one of these leadership conferences before Ayala Young Leaders. I was in a university then, and one quote there really in these journals that they gave us when we reflected got stuck and it really made an impact to me. It was a quote, I forget who said it, and maybe Direct, you can check out who said this, no? But it said, action without vision is passing the time.
Mm.
Vision without action is daydreaming.
Mm.
But vision plus action can change the world.
Yes, I
Right.
like that.
So, di ko alam kung sino nagsabi nun eh. Kung walang nagsabi nun, aangkinin ko na lang, pare. Joel Barker. Who's that guy? Ano yung background niya? Tanong natin si AI partner natin. Di ba? American futurist, author, and leadership thinker. No? So, naalala ko nung binasa ko yun, ang laki ng impact sa akin.
Wow.
Kasi, di ba, minsan, pag gawa ka lang ng gawa, pero di mo alam kung saan papupuntahan, sayang eh, di ba? Sayang yung energy. Di ba? Hindi naman completely sayang kasi I'm sure may matututunan ka. Di ba? Pero I'm sure if it was pointed towards a certain direction, mas efficient and mas effective yung use. Similarly, if vision ka lang, tas wala kang ginagawa, kumbaga, you're the guy who keeps telling people na gagawin mo to or ito yung tingin ko, pero wala kang ginagawa, kwento lang yun. Di ba? Wala ka din mapupuntahan. Di ba? So, pero pag pinagsama mo yun, tapos you're humble enough to make a fool out of yourself sometimes or to make mistakes and humble enough to acknowledge it and improve. Diba? Yun yung, and then very clear ka kung anong gusto mo ma-achieve. In the same way how you
Yeah.
and Varaco, you're very clear that yes, it's business, but it also means uplifting the communities that I work with.
Yeah.
Diba?
Yeah.
And you just did it, right? In
Yes.
spite of the pandemic
Yes.
and in spite of, the lack of resources initially.
And,
Pare.
and I wish to add, when you mentioned about action, vision, something that I've been contemplating the past few months, action, let me add one word, action plus vision plus mission
Galing.
would equal to transformation. You're
yeah.
transforming not only ourselves, not just
Yeah.
our leadership, but we're also transforming lives
Yeah.
of others and the lives of these others. What
Correct.
you mentioned about the compounding effect of the actions that we do, the vision that we want. And if we add that commitment of mission, that it's not just a one-time thing. When you say mission, it's like you are accomplishing it no matter what happens.
Yeah.
And I think there's a deeper part of what you've said would be about transformation, and it's a very difficult part where we're not changing peoples, because
Yeah.
some peoples are just the way they are.
Yeah.
But we're transforming perhaps their behaviors, transforming their mindsets, or perhaps transforming their lives from poverty to not really richness, but to comfort. Perhaps because in some communities, they don't want richness because
Simpleng buhay,
Yeah.
masaya na sila eh. Di ba?
masaya na sila sa simple buhay.
Hindi naman lahat ng tao pare-parehas yung measure of happiness and
Yes,
success.
yes.
Di ba?
Lahat ng tao may kapansanan. Ang iba-iba lang kapansanan natin. Maaari yung takot, ang kapansanan natin na i-launch yung madagagal nating idea, or kapansanan na nakikita na paaring they see you as paraplegic or things like that. So, anong gagawin natin sa mga disabilities natin that hinder us in doing things we do? So, it's about overcoming first ourselves eh.
Yeah. Tsaka kanya-kanya talaga yan.
Kanya-kanya,
Diba?
oo.
And
Yun
it'll
yung-
take a lot of reflection and personal time to think about what it is you really want to do. No? So
Correct.
good. Well, Aris, pare, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Yes.
And such an
Honor is mine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pleasure is mine.
hindi, pati inspiring stories.
Yes, yes.
I hope na kung may isang nakikinig dyan who may be experiencing the same thing, di ba? Challenging family environment, challenging economic situation, di ba? Someone experiencing doubts when it comes to their great idea or their business or their current work situation or family situation. It's not gonna be easy, diba? But it's possible to overcome and to
And it's worth it.
it's worth it. Yeah. So again, brother, maraming salamat. And
You're welcome,
I
and
hope
thank you.
to catch up with you soon and wish you all the best in your
Yes.
endeavors. To all our listeners, thank you so much, and we'll see you again soon. Yeah. All right. Cheers. Bye, guys.
Yes, with the mad jeepney.
The mad